Hello, and welcome to another episode of Better Cocktails at Home. I'm Brian Johnson, and we're here in our lovely home bar, the Quarter Deck Club, and we're continuing our series of the first 4 drinks we ever did. We're calling Back to the Future, where we look back at some of our very early videos, our first 4 videos, in fact, just 10 years ago, and kind of see, like, you know, why I did what I did then. Does it still hold up? That kind of thing. And so, first one we did was a sidecar. Second drink we made ever was on video was the Old Fashioned. And so it's nice to see that we started with the classic because Old Fashioned is timeless and it's amazing. So let's take a look at it. So in our first video, again, everything's pretty good. I mean, video production aside, everything looks pretty solid in terms of the recipe, stuff I use, that kind of stuff. We're not going to change that much, honestly, because it's such a simple drink. There's not a lot to change. I think for me, I think the most noticeable thing was when I went back and watched it, I was like, oh, I actually used a bottle of Elmer T, which at the time was like a $30 bottle of bourbon that you could find commonly all the time. And now it's something you never find, and it costs, I don't even know what, 150 bucks, who knows what. So I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of a little indicator of how times have shifted over the last decade. But yeah, so other than that, though, we're not going to change it much. We're going to be doing kind of the same thing because it's such a classic cocktail. So we're going to be stirring this because it's a clear drink. All the ingredients are clear. So like I used a bourbon in my first video. Bourbon is kind of, I think, a nice, it works well, old-fashioned. But honestly, like, you need to think of the old-fashioned as a, like, format for a drink, right? So, like, cognac, rum, you can use really any base spirit you want. So in my first video, I did 2.5 ounces. These days, I've been doing 2 ounces. Just makes for a little bit smaller drink. It stays colder, like, you can drink it a little quicker, so it stays colder. So yeah, I've been doing 2 ounces recently, and I'm using Michter's. And this is a great little bourbon. I love it. Super nice. And then you need a sweet component. So you could do like sugar in the past, or you put sugar and water, but we're going to do that with the syrup. So we already have our sugar and water together. This is kind of a rich sugar. You can use different kinds of sugar. I'm going to do between 1/8 and 1/4 of an ounce, so not very much. And this is just to taste to some degree, like how sweet you like it. And then next up, bitters. I'm going to go with Angostura here, pure classic. I'm going to do 3 dashes because I like bitters. And that's pretty much it, right? So it's a very simple drink. It's kind of just awesome. Old Fashions are great. So now I'm going to add our ice, then we're going to stir. So in our first video, I think I was just grabbing standard ice cubes right out of the fridge or the freezer. Now I'm going to upgrade to these little cubes I made, little fancy little ice cube grabber. And we're going to stir this. So about 40 seconds stir, right? So it's quite a while, actually. And when we're stirring, what are we doing? We're adding dilution. We're adding water to it. And we're chilling at the same time, right? So those are the 2 big things we're doing when we're stirring. But yeah, that first video, I was kind of like, okay, this is pretty good. You know, everything is still solid. So I'm really proud of it, and the fact that I think you watch it and you made that drink exactly in the video. It's going to be super tasty. I do miss Elmer T. I like that bourbon. I just don't ever see it anywhere, and I don't want to like try to find it on the secondary market. So I've gone to other bourbons. All right, we're going to call that good. Now we take a glass, we're going to strain this right into our glass. So simple. And then we're going to take a little bit larger cube just to add a little bit of elegance to it. First video I did, I just put a bunch of cubes in there right out of the freezer, half moon ones, you know, you get super common. This is a little bit nicer this way. And then I'm just going to do orange peel garnish, right? Orange has, I think, a nice sweetness that goes well with like bourbon and whiskey. Just give a little squeeze once around the rim, drop it in. That's it, the old fashioned. Tasty drink, love it. Just pure, like what a well-made cocktail home should be, right? Simple, flavorful. You can customize it to your preferences, and so you got to be making old fashioned. And these are kind of my current specs. So thanks for watching Better Cocktail Zone. We're going to see you on the next episode.